Hey, it's D. Scott Lofthouse of Lofty Enterprises and dscottlofthouse.com, coming to you from Anchorage, Alaska. So this is video 2 in the Dirty Dozen Retirement Planning Mistakes series. And retirement planning mistake number 2 is not saving enough. And so I've got my cheat sheet here with the article because there's a lot of numbers in this today's episode. So let's start with the Census Bureau. 2000 Census Bureau data. So we're talking 15 and a half years ago. And the 2000 census said that the value of all retirement saving accounts, okay, the median value of all retirement savings accounts back then was $18,000. So you take those that had saved, hundreds of thousands or millions, and those that had saved $1, and the median average was $18,000, which is nothing. But if you put in all savings accounts and you add that to the figure, it jumps up to $31,000. So it goes up $13,000 per household. $31,000 is not going to last you 6 months. That on average. I mean, for most folks, $31,000 is going to get you 6 months. So how are you going to retire off that? You're not. So now let's look at a specific age group, because I'm 51. I'm in that pre-retirement, or if you're lucky enough to retire early like I did, you're a young retiree, 51 years old, retired, doing the internet marketing now. So the 55 to 64 age category, the median was only $56,000. So you're only $25,000 better than you are all savings and retirement accounts combined. So $56,000, what's going to happen? And it said that this census data says that 75% of workers 55 to 64 had savings accounts, retirement savings accounts between 0 and 56,000. And this was in 2000. This was before the crash in 2008. This was when we had already had a bull market for years, and we were everybody was cranking the money, making everything in the market, and was doing really well economically and financially. And we still had less than $60,000 per household saved for retirement. I mean, that's ridiculous. And so this article goes on to say that you're either saving for retirement today or you're consuming retirement today. Those are your only two options. If you're remaining neutral, you're not going to survive no matter what. So you're either at a point right now in your life where you're saving for retirement or you're consuming the retirement that you've already saved. So let's talk about some other figures. The article talks about fancy coffee drinks. So I'm going to pick on Starbucks. I don't drink coffee. It's not something that I do. I know a lot of people, though, that absolutely die in the mornings without their coffee. And there's a lot of people that absolutely cannot handle drinking regular coffee. They've got to go to Starbucks or someplace else and get their foo-foo coffee drinks. So what they say is, one coffee drink, $5 a day. If you were to save $5 a day, 20 days a month, for 50 years at a 10% compounded interest, you would have $1.876 million saved. Okay, compounded interest is the key. That is how you make your money. And Warren Buffett, in another article, and he likes to say this all the time, if you don't know how compounded interest works, you're losing out, because you're doing one of two things. You're either making money off compounded interest or you're paying compounded interest. And compounded interest is really how retirement accounts make their money, their big gains. Because the market, even if the market averages 6 to 8% a year gain, that's still you're not gonna make it. You have to save large amounts of money. So now let's talk about how much you need to save. So everybody talks about you should start saving as soon as you start working. And that was what we talked about yesterday. Not having a plan, we're not saving. So if you started when you were young, 20 years old, and started to invest, with compounded interest, you would be able to save about 10% of your paycheck, and you would be able to retire at age 65 with plenty of money. But how many of us start saving when we're 20 years old? We don't. So let's say if you start saving at age 40, what do you need to save? Age 40, you need to calculate between 25% or more of your income saved for retirement at age 40, so that you can retire at age 55. Now, I retired at age 51, which means I had to save even more. And I think I said this yesterday. I saved like a mad dog. I saved every penny that I could afford to save. And we scrimped and we cut and we saved. And I had $500,000, $488,000 when I retired. And it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to even last me a decade. How in the world are you going to survive off less than $1.5 million? You can't. So the alternative is find another source of income. So, some other figures that I want to talk about here. There was a guy named Jack Vanderhee of Employee Benefit Research who did an interview for Frontline on PBS. And he says that you will typically need to save 13.3% of your retirement, of your income rather, if you want to retire at age 65 and you've been working for 30 years. And you're going to retire on your pension program, your retirement funds, and Social Security. I mean, do you really think that that's all going to work and it's going to be all hunky-dory and everything's going to happen the way it should? I doubt it. Now, if you wanted to retire 5 years earlier at age 60, you would have to save between 14.5 and 15.3. And of course, now the 14.5 is for men, the 15.3 is for women, because women typically live longer than men. And so you have to plan for a longer retirement life. So you need to save more money. 14.5% to 15.3. And if you start at age 40, like I was saying, and you want to retire at 65, you got to save 25%. I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of your income. And then that's only if the market doesn't crash. That's if all of your investments work out perfectly. That's if everything averages what it should average. I don't see the stock market staying solvent the way it has the last 100 years. I think the stock market is going to get broken here eventually because people are afraid to invest. You can look at some of the major companies that are out there right now, and some of those companies are sitting on so much cash they could pay off the entire debt, the entire U.S. debt, out of the cash that they have sitting in their banks. You know, it's ridiculous. They're not going to invest in the economy, so why should we? We're investing in something that's a losing bet at this point. So you need to look at an alternative source of income. And MOB, for me, was that alternative source of income. It's a done-for-you system, internet marketing. You get paid commissions on the sales that you make. We have great products, training products, products for small businesses and entrepreneurs. It's a great program. And I will talk about this for the next 30 years, you know, as long as I'm around and able to invest, because this program works. So I want you to think about that. Think about these figures that we were talking about. If you start saving at age 40, which is when typically people start saving for retirement, you're going to have to set aside 25% of your money, 25% of your wages to be able to retire at 65, working for 25 years, saving 25% of your income. If you don't do that, you're not going to be solvent. And even at 25%, I don't think you're going to save enough. I really don't. So I appreciate you letting me come into your home via the internet and watching this video. I want you to think about those figures. I want you to think about finding an alternative source of income. MOB can be that vehicle for you to retire. If you're interested in seeing more of my training videos, then keep looking at my emails, go to my blog, go to my YouTube channel, go to my video channel. They're all posted, and you'll be able to find the information that you need. And I'm going to be making some more videos. In fact, on Thursday, I'm headed to Thailand for 2 weeks for the MOB Titanium Mastermind. And so I'll still be making videos. I'll make videos while I'm on the road. I'll make videos while I'm in Thailand. And I'll be sending these out to you guys on a daily basis. Every day but Sunday. I don't work on Sundays. That's part of my Mormon upbringing. But if you're interested in getting started, then you can shoot me an email My email is scott@loftyenterprises.com, or you can give me a call, 907-350-5601. And again, thank you very much for spending a few minutes with me, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you. Goodbye.